Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Unique Moments, where we take a moment to breathe, take a moment to pause, reconnecting our mind, body, and spirit. And this is the first episode of the chakra series. So we are starting with chakra number 1, the root chakra. And I do have my chakra energy deck. And this is the card. So this is the symbol and what it looks like. And then I'm not even going to try to pronounce the Sanskrit because I don't want to get it wrong. But essentially the root chakra, so that's the first, number 1, the base foundation chakra. And a good way to remember them is they go in the colors of the rainbow, starting with the spine, from the spine, starting with the spine to the crown. So Roy G. Bibb, and the first one is red. And the card says the root chakra, located at the base of the spine, is associated with grounding and gravity. At the center of the symbol is an upside down triangle representing the ancient alchemical symbol of earth, the root chakra element. The 4-petaled lotus flower encircling the square denotes the 4 elements of the psyche: mind, intellect, consciousness, and ego. That I didn't know, that was new. And then I'm going to go over some affirmations at the end, but the one on the card says, I am safe on this earthly plane, supported by universal divine energy. So on the card, there is a meditation. And in Grace's article, Be Rooted in Love, she gives a lot of yoga poses, meditations, and just talks about her personal experience dealing with the root chakra. So check that out. It's going to be in the description, touchedbygrace.blog. So my main goal of this whole series is to just identify the chakras, in case you may not know what they are, and what it looks like when they are imbalanced or underactive or overactive, and how to bring them back into balance. Because we want balanced chakras. We want to be balanced people. We want to be whole beings. So that's my goal and my hopes for this series. I'm very excited. And so the root chakra, what does it look like when your root chakra is imbalanced? Off the top of my head, so an imbalance in your root chakra may look like a loss of like a sense of self, or like a sense of belonging to this world. Like maybe you feel like you don't fit in, or you feel like you don't really have a purpose, or you're unsure of kind of, it's just like an unsureness, like unsteady. You're not steady in your being. You're not grounded in who you are and what you do and what you want to pursue in life. Your foundation is shaky. Your root is shaky. You're imbalanced. You're unstable. And it can also look like you having low energy, like, because your root is also where it begins, right? So it's like your life force energy. So if you have an imbalance in your root chakra, maybe you have low energy, or maybe you find it hard to do things that you're passionate about. Maybe you don't know what you're passionate about, or pursuing things that give you life, that give you energy, that give you drive, that give you that spark. If you're low in that area, if you're low in that area, then that may mean that your root chakra is imbalanced. And there are some symptoms, or I guess symptoms or ways that this could present itself in life, to where okay, maybe I need to pay attention. Maybe I need to check in with my root energy, with my foundation, what's going on there. And so some of the physical symptoms, where it can show up like in your body, is lower back pain. So it's located at the very base of your spine, and all these are like internal, obviously. So it's located at the base of your spine. So some physical symptoms of an imbalance root chakra may look like lower back pain, and this is not medical advice. Seek your doctor for whatever pains, aches that you're having. This is for entertainment and educational purposes only. Correlation does not equal causation. Just because this is a symptom and a sign of an imbalanced root chakra doesn't mean that you don't have something going on that you need to go to the doctor for. So I'll say that. But physically, that can look like lower back pain. It can look like, again, kind of low energy, feeling sluggish, feeling lazy, like you don't really have any like get up and go. You don't really have any drive to do something. It can also look like inflammation, serious inflammation. There's a lot of reasons you could be inflamed, but cramping in your body, not being able to like move freely, like move your limbs freely. Maybe you just are like very tight and you don't have like good energy flow. You don't have good energy flow going to the lower half of your body or the upper half of your body. And then there are some psychological ways that you can kind of identify. And again, there's so many reasons why things could be wrong with you. So many reasons why. This is to look at specifically things that have to do with this part of the body, this root center of your energy. And so that could look like depression or anxiety, because again, the whole thing is if it's imbalanced, then you have an unstable foundation. You don't really know what you want to do. You don't really know where you're going to go. And so like that's anxiety producing, or it could be depressing. You don't have a will to live. You don't have a reason to maybe trigger warning. I don't know if we'll see. Maybe you don't have a reason to live, a reason to get out of bed in the morning. That can cause depression, which could be a psychological symptom of an over or underactive root chakra. Also having panic attacks, which again, I think is strongly correlated with anxiety. Anyone who I know who has ever had a panic attack has severe anxiety. And I think that's the whole thing of it. But it's just like you don't feel grounded, like you don't feel sure, like there's something to worry about, there's something to be depressed about, there's something to like shake your foundation. And then a little bit more real life, what it could look like is your root chakra also has to do with money, I believe. Your safety, your security. So someone who, and it's not to say all homeless people are unhoused people, but I would dare say that we can make that correlation that people who are, if you're not homeless by choice, people who are homeless or don't have any place to stay or always in and out of jobs, like you have an imbalance in your root chakra because you can't seem to get stable. You can't seem to get like a stable foundation, whether it's a consistent roof over your head, a consistent job that delivers consistent income. Again, the root chakra is also associated with money because we use money to supply our needs, to supply our foundations at the basic root of it for food, shelter, water, clothing. If your money is funny and you don't have the things that you need, quite literally, you don't have the essential needs, there's something going on with your foundation. There's something going on with your root chakra energy. And if you don't have shelter, like you're uncovered. In addition to that, when you have a shaky foundation and you don't have a stable roof over your head, or maybe your family is unstable, your family unit is unstable, then it like you lose a sense of safety, like you lose your sense of connection. And even in the home, if we look at that, the analogy as the home being your resting place, the home being your safe place, your safe haven, the whole affirmation with the root is I am safe. I am safe. I am secure. I am protected. I am grounded. Like you feel strong. You have a strong sense of self. And so I think some ways that it is not so in your face, but if you notice that you've always had like money issues, and granted, there's a lot of reasons for this, but even if we take the example of people who live in poverty, or people who live, or people who are unemployed, or people who just don't have, for lack of a better word, quite literally like lack the funds or lack the resources or lack proper nutrition, like that's connected directly with your money. Usually, if you don't have food on the table, if you're going hungry, it's because you couldn't afford to pay for a meal, or you couldn't afford to go to dinner or cook. You couldn't afford something. And so it's like that kind of goes hand in hand. Like, not saying that if your money's okay, that you're not going to have problems with your root chakra, but I think that's a big indicator, because we need money for everything, quite literally. Every time I leave the house, I spend money. I don't even want to. Like, we need money for everything. And so when you don't have enough, not necessarily in surplus or in excess, which is good too, but even that, imbalance can mean overactive or underactive. All the things that I've listed: lack of shelter, lack of money, lack of proper food, nutrition, shelter, resources, all of that would probably be a sign of an underactive root chakra. We could take it in the other direction, it being overactive, which is still an imbalance. And that could look like you only work, you only grind to make sure you have way more money than you need, a surplus amount of money, or you have an excessive amount of houses that you're never going to live in. Like so controlling over like your schedule, your purpose, like you're so meticulous and like I got to do this and this has to be this way and I'm not moving, and it's like you're too rooted, you're too grounded, and like you're not open enough for flexibility for the way that things move, because life is flexible. We are flexible beings, we are flexible people, and everything doesn't stay the same. So an overactive root chakra, maybe you work too much. Maybe you don't make time for anything fun in your schedule. Maybe you are overly anxious, again with the anxiety piece. Maybe you over prepare. Maybe you overcompensate in that area. And I think it's a way bigger topic than I'm going to get into today, but that's kind of the foundational piece of it all. And then what are some ways to heal the chakra? If you do have an imbalance, what are some ways to heal that? So there's different things. One of the main things is with the color, because the red is the color. So anytime you see a chakra that's imbalanced, or you maybe feel or you're observing in life and it's showing you that there's an imbalance, you can always start with the color. Start with the color. How can I invite more of this color into my life? Or the opposite, if it's an overactive chakra, maybe less. Maybe you're getting a little too much of that thing. So like, for example, the color is red for the root chakra. So food, incorporate more red foods in your life. Beets, I don't know if that's considered red or purple, but beets, apples, strawberries, raspberries, tomatoes, red bell peppers. Incorporate more red foods in your life, and probably not artificial red foods, obviously. And then the other way, like, I guess these are the more like just things you can do without like doing too much research or doing anything too crazy, and try it. Like maybe it works, maybe it doesn't. I've never like actually actively intently sat down and said, okay, I'm gonna bring in more energy to my root by eating this thing. So maybe that's something I will try. Maybe I'll try that. But just eating more red foods, incorporating more red foods into your diet. Also, what Grace lists, doing different yoga poses if you're into that. If you're not into that, then like don't do the yoga poses. And certain essential oils, using them if you use essential oils in general, specific crystals, the red crystals, the red jasper, the carnelians, carnelians kind of sacral, ruby, red jasper, red crystals and gemstones, wearing them on your body or meditating with them, meditating on your root chakra, meditating with root chakra affirmations, just any sort of grounding work, because again, it is the foundation. It is your stability, grounding on the earth, walking barefoot, grounding, swimming in preferably natural bodies of water, being connected to the earthly plane, something that makes you feel grounded and rooted here, something that gives you that element of earth, the element of foundation, the element of stability. Pelvic exercises, back exercises, just different exercises and ways to work your pelvic floor. Key, your pelvic floor, if you can, obviously safely. And then affirmations. I think that's my favorite way. One, because it lets you see the energy of the chakra, like what this has to deal with. And then I just love affirmations in general. I'm a words person. I think words are so powerful, especially when you speak them to yourself, because they quite literally carry a vibration. And so telling that to yourself, repeating that to yourself, even writing your affirmations, that does something, and that repetitiveness does something to the energy. It changes the energy. It moves the energy around, which is what we want to do. If you have an imbalance in your root chakra, because it's all energy, is an energy center. Your chakra is a wheel or an energy center in your body. So this center of energy in your root chakra, I keep touching my sacral, but I can't touch my root. The energy is imbalanced. It's either stuck and blocked and you need to get it moving, or it's too much energy and you need to get it moving somewhere else. And so I think affirmations do that. If you work well with affirmations. If you don't, maybe you do meditation. If you don't, maybe you do a yoga pose. If you don't, maybe it's just, again, actively inviting those foods or different crystals or different colors. Wear more red, wear red lipstick, paint your nails red. Get into the frequency of the color, because colors have frequencies. Colors have energy. Everything has energy, but colors have energy and colors have frequencies. And so you notice, okay, I wear even red. They say it's a power color, and it's very bold. It's very assertive. It's very in your face. And I think to call more of that in, those are some ways to do that. But affirmations. So I listed 5 affirmations. There's so many more, and you can create your own affirmations once you realize what it's having to do with. Essentially, we're just grounding and affirming that we're safe and we're secure and everything is okay. And so I wrote down 5, and I'm also going to link them below. And I'm also going to link Yoga with Nico. I did the yoga practice, and I'm going to be doing the yoga for all of the chakras, and because she's doing a reset series. And so I just want to shout her out because I really love her classes and the way she teaches her practice and the way she's so thorough and supporting Black people, supporting Black artists. I love how she's introducing just Blackness in the yoga space. And so I want to see more of that. And she also lists some of the affirmations in her video. So the first affirmation I wrote down is, I'm protected and secure. And you could just, again, say these to yourself, say these in a meditation, write them down, affirm them throughout the day, affirm them whenever you are feeling low energy, when you are feeling sluggish, when you are feeling like things are, you don't know if things are up and or things are down, and you kind of just need to kind of come back to center, come back to center, come back to self. So I'm protected and secure. I am grounded. I am grounded. I am grounded. I honor my physical body. I trust in my path. I am deeply connected to life. I am deeply connected to life. And they may not feel, I feel like the trick with affirmations is not that you have to like constantly say them repetitively, but it's like you're affirming something. And it's like, if it's something that you don't already believe, or maybe something that you're not living, it's hard. Not impossible, but it's just difficult. Like affirming, I have everything that I need. All of my needs are met. And maybe all of your needs aren't met. Maybe you still need to pay your rent. Maybe you're looking for a job and you're unemployed, but still affirming that anyway. Affirm that which is not as though it were. Affirm that which is not as though it were. And knowing I am safe and secure. I am grounded. All of my needs are met. I have everything I could ever need. Just saying those things to yourself gets the energy moving, gets the wheels turning quite literally in the right direction. And I'm sure there's many more things that you can do for an overactive or underactive root chakra, but I think at the base of it is like, okay, making sure you're calm, making sure you're stable, making sure your finances are in order, making sure your home is in order physically, your space is clean. Also, emotionally, mentally, psychologically, do you have bad energy in your home? Do you have stale energy in your home? Do you have stagnant energy in your home? Get your energy moving. Burn some incense. Do the essential oils. Light a candle. Bring in more wholesome activity. Something. Get your house in order. Get your finances in order. Get yourself in order. Quite literally, if you feel like you don't have a ground to stand on, a firm foundation, get in the grass. Touch some grass with your bare feet. Touch some grass with your bare feet, preferably not man-made grass. And ground, quite literally ground. We are electromagnetic beings. When we ground in the earth, we create a circuit. We create a circuit for the energy of the earth to connect with the energy to our bodies. And quite literally that, like roots, red root, red chakra, stable. The trees are stable. Unless it's some flimsy plant, the trees are unmovable. They are rooted in that ground. See yourself as a tree. See yourself as a tree when you feel unstable. See how the trees sway with the wind, but they don't move. The trees move with the wind, but they don't uproot. They don't come undone. They don't unravel because they're secure and they're stable and they're safe. No matter what comes, no matter what weather, no matter what season, the trees, the leaves change, the leaves fall, but the tree still stands. So be like the tree. Be unmoved like the tree. And you'll feel more grounded. And when you feel more grounded physically, whether it's feet in the earth or I have a home, I have a job, I'm stable, my finances are in order, then you feel more grounded in life. You feel more grounded with a sense of direction, with a sense of purpose, with a sense of, okay, I may not know what I'm doing for the next 20 years, but I know what I'm doing for the next year, or I know what I'm doing for the next 6 months, or even I know what I'm doing for the next week. Like making a plan. I'm not someone who uses planners. But I do plan out my days. And I think whenever I do that, whether it's a day in advance or I plan out the week, I just feel more sure. I feel more grounded. Even if I don't follow the plan to the T, it's like I still have a plan in place. I still have a form of foundation, a form of something to work with. And I'm not just winging it and seeing how it goes. And maybe winging it works for you. Maybe you don't have to be the type of person to plan out everything and to schedule time to be in nature and to be grounded and to, maybe do what works for you. Do what works for you. But I think the piece of it is foundation on all fronts. Like it's a physical foundation. It's again mind, body, spirit. It's a mental foundation. Do you have a sound mind? Do you have a sound mind? And that eliminates the depression. That eliminates the depression, and that eliminates the anxiety. Do you have? Are you mentally stable? Are you spiritually stable? Do you have a good relationship with your higher power? Do you have a good relationship with yourself? Are you shaky there? Do you have a good firm foundation there? Is your spirit clean? Is your spirit right? Is your spirit positive? Or do you have negative energy? Do you have negative energy in your aura? Get your negative energy together. Get your spiritual hygiene together. Emotionally, are you stable in your emotions? And that's more sacral chakra, but for the sake of being whole and being foundation, being rooted in yourself, I'll bring it here. But do you have your emotions in check? Are you sure-footed, or do you sway whenever something doesn't go your way, or whenever a challenge comes, or whenever you encounter something or someone that you don't like? How do you react? That's a good signal to see how grounded and rooted in yourself that you are. That's why I like the affirmation. I'm deeply connected to life, and I trust in my path. I trust in my path, and I have faith, and I'm safe, and I'm grounded, and I'm safe. And at the very core of it, I know that I'm okay. I'm okay. My dog is waking up, so I feel like she's about to start whining. So on that note, I will link the affirmations. And I'm going to link Grace's article and then also Nico's yoga practice for the root chakra. And then that's all I have. And then we will be continuing with the sacral. And until next time.